Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. We completed the bottom of the tail, and we did the top, and we got a couple things to do now. But one thing I want to show you is we'll probably do these coverts in here, and we're going to shape the rump. There's like a staging in here, and I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to bring the camera down and we'll get you going on that, and giving you my little spiel again. If anybody needs any of the blanks or the kits or the patterns like these guys here that I have, I have a catalog. It lists all these, and if you're interested in getting a catalog, you can write to me through my email. My email address is Rauscher, Rauscher, Frank, Frank, 7 @gmail.com. And if you didn't get that, it's in the description of this video that we're doing, okay? So you can get it in a few places. And if there's anything that you may need advice on or something like that along the way, we'll try to help you out on that. You don't need everything, and I'll try to guide you the best I can. So if you need some help on how we get started with this, or if you need power carving, where if you don't have like a Dremel or something else, I could show you some things. I do have some used equipment if somebody wants to go on the cheaper side of it or something like that. I could try to help you out there too, because I get some of that now and then, and we will try to help you out on that end. But if you need bits or equipment or optimizers that I don't really show you, because it's these guys here. I have a couple different types. I have one that has a light on it and a loupe, and you get about 3 lenses or something like that all total. And they're pretty nice, and they're inexpensive. So for those like myself, I need the magnification, especially when I'm burning or trying to do some detail work where I'm getting in tight spaces. So feel free. It's not in the catalog, but give me a buzz on it, and I will send you the information, okay? Because I don't put everything in the catalog, okay? I try to put most of the stuff that's important. But if you need information, I'm open for you. You know, you can check with me, and you can check with other people just to see if I'm giving you the right advice. You know what I mean? Hey, listen to everybody. It's the same way when I teach. I'm teaching you my method, but that doesn't say that I have the ultimate method of all. You learn from everybody, so keep your eyes and ears open, and hey, learn from everybody. That's the smart thing to do. So I'm going to take you down onto the table here, and we will start pursuing the rump area, and then we're going to start right into the whole breast area as well. So bear with me, and we'll be right there. Okay, we're going to start out. There's another staging that's occurring on the bird here, and this is the rump area here, and then this is another staging area right here, and I'm going to show you how to locate that. From where we left off, where on the bottom here we have this view, and that's that view right there, and the rump's right here, and that's this right here. From there, from this point up to where I want you to put a dot, we'll take a measurement, okay? And it's like a lay down here. If I lay the ruler here, it looks like from here to here is 7/8. So you put a dot, okay, right there. And then I'm going to give you another measurement. I'm going to ask you from that dot coming up on the center line, I'm going to ask you to measure up from that dot up 3/4 of an inch and put another dot. And what we'll do is we'll put an X here. That'll be your limit. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, the bit I'm going to use to do a lot of this work is a ruby pear, okay? If I could suggest any bit that in your arsenal that you should get, the ruby pear is the one my go-to for mostly everything I do, okay? So, and like I said, I put the optivisor on, even though you don't see me with it on camera here. I'm going to show you that I have it on. I do have it on, I should say. Now, I'm putting the cart before the horse here. Okay, on here, this is the 7/8 up. I want you to come back about 1/4 of an inch and then draw a perpendicular line across here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to draw an arc. It's going to be from the 7/8 down to where we touch this line. This line we just put in, which is 1/4 of an inch back, is just a tangent point. We're going to touch it, and then we're swinging off to the ends here by the wing. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And if you got it right, they'll look exactly the same. So what we're going to do, this is like a staging for the rump, okay? I forget exactly what this is called correctly, so I'll just call it a staged area in the rump area. But you want to undercut behind this line, and that's what we're going to do. So watch me on this. Now I'm going to use the ruby pear, and I'm going to come in, and I'm leaving the pencil line there. Okay, and I'm going to try to get this ruby pear as close as I can without banging the wing. I do not want you to hit the wing. And if you don't have a pear, you could go with, let me show you the other thing. Yeah, that's it. This is a ruby also, but it's, I call it the fat flame. That's my expression for it. It's an oversized flame. So I'm going to come in here. This will get me right under the wing here. Gets me right up to it. Then I'm going to come in this way. And I'm taking this down a little bit, okay? Not being shy on it. And I would say I'm coming down maybe from the top to the bottom, down in here in that valley, about not quite 1/8 of an inch, a little shy of it, okay? I hope you can see that. Now, when I cut it out, I took material out to here. We're going to blend all that away. Everything from the bottom of this valley out, I want to blend it away. So I want to slide it down, but not go on the tail. Okay. So you can see, I want this to flow down to the tail, but not hit the tail. So everything should slope right on down. And you want a nice rollover too. So you're not only sloping it down, but you're rolling it so it has no edges on the side, you know, or valleys or anything else. It's nice and smooth. So it should be sloping from here right on down. And I'll show you a profile here in a minute. You can see I've come from here and it slopes down to here. And all that channel edge on this side went away. Okay. Now, the other thing I want you to do, we put this X up here. I'm going to track right up through the center here to that X. And when I get to the X, I want to go shallow. Okay, so this has this happening. Once I get to the X, I want to stop. Okay, and this may be a hair shy of this drop, but it'll be close. Like I said, this was not quite an 8. Maybe close to it, but not quite. So here's what we have now. We have the channel edge that's still existing here. Comes up here. We want shallow up to this X. We have this, and this, and this. I'm going to roll this like this. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to round that over. And if you notice, I put a pencil line in down in that valley so that I could, once I get like this chamfer down and start seeing the pencil line disappearing, then that tells me the angle is meeting that pencil line and I should be in good shape. I'm getting down to where it should be. Now I'm coming all the way around, and what I'm going to do is dome this area, okay? There'll be like a high spot here and a high spot over here, and this all blends away. So all this channel edge on this side and that side should get blended away, okay? Just like we did with this going this way. Now we have an edge that comes all the way up to here, comes around here, and it goes right into the wing. So I take maybe a 30-degree chamfer around, fold that around, make sure I blend all that so that it doesn't have any edges, and it's a nice roll over from one side. That's a roll over from here to that side. And you use a lighter touch sometime. You don't get heavy-handed at all, so that this all gets a nice roll over, okay? And if you still have some flats in there, go back and just touch it up. It's a light touch rather than being aggressive. So I see a little bit I missed down here, so I'll come in, try to slope this a little bit more. And you got to move it around sometime because the way the light hits it, you think you have everything done, and then you find out when you move it, oh, wait a minute, I missed a spot right here. So this is how you can tell. If you keep on looking in one direction all the time, the way the light hits, it looks like you're complete. Now that looks pretty good, okay? I see a little bit. See, as soon as I said that, I see a little bit I missed right on the corner here, turning that around. And I'll probably clean a little bit of this up. But everything seems to blend off, and that's what I'm trying to do. And the other thing I'm going to ask you to do is to get some sandpaper. Now remember, we textured this, we stoned this from here down to here, remember? We had these strata lines in there. And I'm going to put some pencil lines in just so that you can see some of it. It sort of disappears with the light. So that's there. So where I look, I just seen another edge, see? Just when you think you got everything, I'm going to come back and hit that a little bit right there. And this is what you got to do sometimes. Now, what I was saying to you, I get some sandpaper, and you could do this with the power sanders, you know, the the rotary type, or you can come in and you could do this by hand, one way or another. You want to sand this all out, okay? I usually take the easy way out, and I'll change my bit. I'm down to a stub on this, but I'll wait until I wear that down, but I have them like this, and some of them are bullet shaped and stuff like that. There's all different types. Now I take my machine and I run them at a slower speed because I think, like on the last video, some of this blew away. If you're doing 30,000, this ain't gonna hold together. So what you can do is just come in here and just work this out. This will, there's spots you may have missed, this will sand it right out, okay? Just like this, and I try to come up, but not into the pencil area because we have that texture there. So I'm going to come in here, be down in here. Now, with the ruby's a fine ruby, and you can get a nice smooth surface out, okay? And if you find that this isn't doing it for you, then go back to your hand sanding, okay? And I do have other, I think they're like heart-shaped sanders that you can rinse out and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, I don't know, $1 a piece or something like that. And they're real nice to use too. They have a sponge in between, and they really hold up nicely, and you can clean them up and still reuse them pretty good. So we got that in pretty good shape. Now, like I said, I end it up with texturing down to about here. I'm going to just hit the outline here a little heavier with the pencil line so that you can see where I stopped the texturing. Sort of circles around here. Now, what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to put a C in here, like so. We'll start our feathering. I'm going to come around here. Then I'll get another one. I'll come in here. And I'll get one right in here. And I'll come over here. Whoop. tends to want to go its own way. Let me see if I can get that one like that. This one like this. And I think I could sneak a little one in right there. Now, I'm going to go from point, the middle of the C to that one. Okay. To there. Then I get a little bigger over here. Then I'm going to come over here. Throw one in there. There. Then I start jumping around a little bit. If you notice, I increase just a little bit as I'm coming down. And maybe I make the same size for a while in this area. Then I'll come in here. Then I'm going to put a little one in here because I want to try to get a bigger one right along this edge like that. Then I'll put a bigger one that goes from there to there. And I try not to do the loop, okay? These are like all staggering, and that's what I'm trying to do. I don't want anything to look so uniform. And if need be, I put a smaller one in there sometime. There's nothing. We're ad-libbing here because these feathers are so soft in here, you hardly see them. Like one of my subscribers had mentioned that we are putting in feathers that you hardly see. And that's true. That is true. But we're trying to make the bird look interesting, and yet we're trying to stay as authentic looking. These are going to look smooth anyway when we get done. But the idea is it's all straight line work, and you don't have to. I'm not doing any lifting in here. This is different than I have done on other birds. So I'm going to show you a much flatter relieving of these feathers. It's similar to what we did up here. There is no lifting on these, on the head feathers. But it's just the way I like to approach it, okay? And like I said, for some of you can see I'm just filling this in. Now this one is a lot smaller than the rest of them. That's just a filler. And then I come in here into that valley and pop out this way. Then I'll get one over here. Like I said, I try to be as random as I can so that there is no pattern to the feathering. Okay. Now, once I get down in this area, I'm going to get smaller. Okay. Not too much smaller, but I will try to, you can see that these are a lot smaller than these, and that's what I try to do. And I'll throw a big one in there once in a while, but most of these are going to get smaller as we come down to the bottom of the rump. At least that's the approach I try to use on these. Okay. So this comes around here, so I'm going to do one in here, one in here, and they come right up to the wing feather. One in here, and then we got that little one right in there. So it takes a little practice in getting them, but there it is marked up. Now, while we're playing with this, we're going to do similar stuff up here in this area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start one right here, and the feather is going underneath this one, so it stops right here. Then I'll get another one and stagger it. And then I'll do another one. Then I'll put another one in here. I'll get a little bigger as I come down. And there we go. Okay, so let me show you the same technique that I've showed you before, where we have a feather grouping. This is an exploded view. Here's a feather here. What we're going to do is we're going to get the middle of the C in the front, you know, like we'll say like here. Between here and here, I'm going to pick the middle, and I'm going to stroke down. Then I'm going to flare to the left and fan out, and fan to the right. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to get my burning pen right in the middle, and then flare out to the left and flare out to the right. And I'm burning heavy all along this, what I call the leading edge in front. Okay, so let me show you how I do that again. And it takes a little practice sometime, but it really comes out looking nice. Okay, so let me start down here, because you can see the leading edge a lot easier than these guys up here. So I take the middle, stroke it down. Then I press in on that leading edge and I pivot to the left. We're fanning, okay? Then I pivot to the right and I do all the leading edge. And if it feels though you didn't get enough texture, you go faster. And the whole feather is actually marked. You don't see it as a burn, but it is textured. Now I'll do the next one here, up by the wing. I come in here, and I pivot to the left. Okay. I sort of flick it in. I go in and then pull out and lift. And I hope I'm doing better than I did the last video. I had to make it a few times because I was going out of camera range. Here we go again. I hope I'm in range this time. And I'm taking that whole leading edge and burning it that way. And I'm actually textured all the way out here. If I didn't get it, then I could go in and fan to the left and fan to the right real fast. I don't want to drag it, because the first initial one is a hot one. Boom, you're in. Then you're flaring out to the left. And this takes some practice sometime, okay? And then you're flaring out to the right. All right, and you got a little guy in here. And I take the middle of it. If I miss a spot, I just go back over it. And then I come back to there. Hope you can see that. This really works out pretty good. And most of this is going to get lost in the painting, but it's still there, and it'll. What's happening is we're burning on that leading edge in front, and that is depressing the area, so you don't have to actually lift it with a bit. That dark area recessed everything in front, and I just keep on stroking through like so. And again, I make this look easy, so I'm just going to tell you, you have to practice this to be able to do it. Now, some of you, could be like a natural and just hit it off. I had some students before that were real good at this, and I had other ones that really had a hard time with it. But it's like anything else. To get good at what you're doing, you have to do it a lot to get it down. I thought this was magical at one time. I had a hard time doing this. Now, up in here where we have a textured line, I could see right in here, I got to get started here. So I'm going to stroke a line right down the middle here where I think I stopped texturing. And then I'm just going to flare out like this on that leading edge and picture that there's like a feather in front of it and do it that way, okay? And if need be, I can come back with that carbon silicate stone and texture down into this a little bit just to make sure I got everything textured. So I take the middle and I flare out. I feel like there's another feather in front of me here, even though you don't see it because we did a lot of straight line work. Most of this straight line work, for those who don't want to do this, you could stone this whole thing from top to bottom, okay? That's another option for you. So, and I'll show you what happens on my original piece, that when I go to paint it, what it looks like. So you have a choice. You don't have to do all of this if you don't want to. Okay, I'm just showing you different ways of approaching this. Let me stop for a second. Now, this has been painted, but you could see some feathering ghosting in. Even though we painted it white and then yellow on top, there is some slight lifting of the feathers. You can see the stoning up here, and then this is all burnt right on down to the rump. So you may want to do that, or you may want to just stone it like this all the way down, okay? It's just flaring out. You're coming down the middle, and you're going to the left, and you're going to the right. So you have a choice here. Or you can burn the whole thing straight down, okay? And it's just this, it's just like line work coming down, and it's flaring out a little bit this way, and it's flaring out a little bit this way. So for those who are doing this maybe for the first time and this gets a little difficult, try that. You know, you may like that better than what I'm doing here now. I just find there's different ways to approach it, and I'm just giving you different ideas, okay? That's what I'm here, trying to teach you different methods on doing the same piece. There's a lot of ways of doing this. And for people that may have friends that do this, or they're teaching a class, hey, learn from them. Maybe you like their method even better than mine. You know what I mean? I don't have a corner in the market for ways of showing it. And for the person who had wrote to me about we do a lot of overkill on the bird, because if you really handle birds, and most of you don't, but if you have skins of birds and stuff like that, they're as smooth as can be, and it's just like line work, just coming straight down. So this is a little bit of overkill, okay, on my part, but it's the way I like to do it. We sometimes go a little above and beyond what is natural, but we're not taking away this breast area. It's just the way you want to texture it, you know what I mean? Now, there's another method I could show you, and I'm not going to do it on this one because I decided to do it this way. Every one of these feathers here, you could come in with a flame tip ruby or the diamond bullet and come around and just lift each one a little bit. And what it does, it enhances the look of the feather if you like that look, okay? So we take a little license in what is really out there in nature, okay? I'm not saying perfecting this, but we get pretty close, you know? And in competition, a lot of it has to do with your painting technique, you know, besides the techniques I'm showing you here. They are really good at painting and making the bird really look good. For those who maybe airbrush, that use airbrush, you can really make your birds really look great if you're good at doing airbrushing. For those who are doing birds airbrushing, it really sets you apart from a lot of others. I do have airbrushes available if some people are interested. I got some inexpensive ones, and I have some expensive ones. So you can always contact me if you want to try that, but you really have to practice that. I try to teach you with a brush, and also I try to show you there are tricks that I could do. If you notice, when I seal this with a Krylon spray after I'm all done. Then I paint it with titanium white. And if I want to enhance a feather later on, after I paint the bird, I'll come back and I'll use the burning pen. You got to watch the temperatures, and you may not want to get as dark as you have it here. I go over and burn the bird again. Say like a spotted sandpiper. I sometimes paint the bird, and after I'm done, I'll put the spots in, burning it in on top of the paint. And you shouldn't have any problem if you do it with my method, which is I use titanium white as the undercoat and not gesso. But that is just a method that I sort of developed, okay? So some people want to do that and some people don't. So don't feel as though you're locked into me all the time. I'm trying to give you exposure on how we achieve some of this. And I often would say, if you have a friend that's really good at this too, watch how he does things too. You'll learn from everybody, and I really mean that. There's always somebody doing some fantastic work, and they have a method of doing it. And I would suggest pay attention to them too. So you could see this is starting to come together. And then these smaller ones, they are going to go like this too. Same deal. And I'm going to just do a little bit of these. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'll do it again here. It's like this feather right here. I do the center, I come down, then I flare to the left like a fan, and then I flare to the right. Okay? And that's how you're going to do them all. And you're going to do the same thing up in here too. Now, let me jump to this side. You have this mantle that came up here and it has an edge. So I'm going to start right at the mantle and come down and fan to the left. Now, half of that feather is supposed to be under this feather, so I stop right there. Then this one is right here, and I'll fan down this way, and I'll stop when I reach that feather over there, like so. And I'll come down and do the next one. And I'll fan over here. So down the center, then to the left, and then to the right. Okay. And because they're smaller sometimes, you gotta get the point up a little bit more. And I use this flicking effect, but you have to find out what works for you, okay? And I'm not pressing like hell. You gotta practice it a little bit, because I could tell you pressures and this and that, but I've been doing it. I don't even think about it, you know. But you don't want to have it where you're pressing so hard in one area and you're not in another. You're trying to be consistent. So here we go. I'm coming down over here. I'm flickering this way. You don't want to go into the feather you're already burnt now, so you're stopping short of going into them. You don't want to keep on an overrun here. And then there's a little guy right down in here, so I'll sneak in and get the point in there and do it that way. There it is. Okay, so I want you to save time on the video. You're going to do the same thing right on over. And just remember, pick a spot that's like the center here and flare out to the left. Okay, and then flare out to the right. All right, and see, I missed the spot right in there. I'll just go back in, hit it again. So that's what you do for these top feathers that don't have anything in front of them. So I would like you to finish this at your leisure, and hopefully you'll have that all done by the next video. And then we'll probably be putting eyes in. I'll show you how to do the beak. As far as we're going to super glue this, and we're going to do a couple other things with it too, just so you can get it looking pretty good. Okay, so I hope you got something out of this one. If you did, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up on there. And if you have any friends that may be interested, I'm going to ask you to pass my information on, because I'm trying to grow my channel. And I'm growing each day, but I need as many people as I can gather. And we are going to try to do more videos on different birds. And if anybody has any suggestions on what birds to do next, I'll take a polling. If anybody wants to send in some comments, I'll look at them and see what's the most popular and then try to go there. I did the cardinal. That's probably been my most popular bird I've done so far. But, you know, well, I'll try a lot of different ones, you know, and this and that. Some of them, like the owl, just took forever and a day. But these smaller songbirds aren't that bad. So we're making pretty good progress on these. So give me a holler. I am going to be publishing some of the students' works here shortly. I said that before, but I will. And if you have anything you've finished that you want to get to me, please send some pictures in using my email address, and I'll try to publish it. You know, if you'll give me the okay, I will put it in as a video so people can see what you guys have been doing out there on your own, or ladies too. I shouldn't say this isn't all a gentleman's hobby. So hope to see you on the next video. And if you need a catalog, don't forget, write to me on my email address. And it's Rauscher, RAUSCHER, Frank, FRANK, 7 @gmail.com. And it's also within the description of this video as well. So definitely give me a hi and let me know what comments you made. And if I'm confusing you along the way, fire away too. And if you have questions other than what we're doing here and you need some advice, ask me. I'd be glad to help you out. So see you on the next video, and we're marching on with the goldfinch. So we'll see you then. Bye now.